Israeli occupation army has killed over 45,500 Palestinians since it began its genocidal operation against Gaza. In South Korea, more than 68,000 flight reservations have been cancelled after the plane crash that left at least 179 people dead. And in Venezuela, the Supreme Court of Justice imposed a $10 million fine against tech company TikTok due to the platform's negligence in allowing the broadcasting of vital challenges. Hello and welcome to From the South. I'm Alejandra Garcia from teleSUR studios in Havana, Cuba. We begin with the news. The Israeli occupation army has killed over 45,500 Palestinians since it began its genocidal operation against the Gaza Strip in October 2023. Health authorities added that the Israeli aggression has left more than 108,000 people injured, most of them children, women, and the elderly. Emergency services in Gaza warned that they are still unable to reach many victims and corpses trapped under the rubble or scattered along the roads of the coastal enclave. At the same time, Israeli troops continue to block the entry of humanitarian aid and the movement of civil defense teams. On Monday, Palestinian medical sources reported the death of 1-month-old Ali Al-Batran at Al-Aqsa Matis Hospital due to the cold weather. He is the twin brother of the baby Juma Al-Batran, who died on Sunday due to the low temperatures in a tent in Deir al-Bala in central Gaza. The enclave's government media office said that the death toll due to the bitter cold and frost among displaced Palestinians living in tents increased to 7, a number that is expected to rise further as the authorities added the heavy rains are expected to continue in the coming days, as well as frost waves and winter cold. In this context, Palestinian authorities hold the Israeli occupation fully responsible for the deterioration of humanitarian situation in the Gaza Strip, as well as the U.S. administration and the countries that support and participate in the genocide, such as the United Kingdom, Germany, and France.
What is their future? This child stopped going to school and the others also stopped going to school. There are no schools. What future do these children have? What is their fault?
Because of the cold and lack of blankets and bedding, the child died because of the cold, from the cold. This tent is not suitable for living in. Living in this tent is like living on the street.
Meanwhile, displaced Gazans living in tents hope to see an end to the war that has devastated their territory and wish to return home in 2025 after a truly painful year.
2024 was the most difficult year. I lost many loved ones, including my father and friends, since the beginning of the year. I hope the new year will be much better, filled with peace, goodness, and stability. I wish for the return of security and safety and for the war to end.
I want you to convey my message to the free and humane world. Exert pressure on Netanyahu to finalize a prisoner exchange deal, to free our courageous prisoners from the Israeli occupation's prisons, and to allow displaced people to return to their homes.
Iran's foreign minister also condemned the recent Zionist attacks on Yemen during a joint press conference with a counterpart from Oman.
The Islamic Republic of Iran condemns military strikes by the Zionist regime and the U.S. against the Yemeni soil and the destruction of its infrastructure. We emphasize on the preservation of Yemen's territorial integrity, and we hope that peace talks are resumed as soon as possible, so that we can stop conspiracies to start a new civil war in Yemen.
In this context, the Iranian minister also called for the formation of an inclusive government in Syria.
Regarding Syria, We had an extensive discussion about the developments in that country. We share the idea of preservation of Syria's territorial integrity, no intervention in Syria's domestic affairs, respecting all ethnicities and religions and observing their rights, and the formation of an inclusive government consisting of all Syrian ethnicities and groups.
And now we have a short break coming up, but first remember you can join us on TikTok at teleSUR English, where you'll find news in different formats, news updates, and more. We'll be right back. Stay with us. Welcome back to From the South. In South Korea, more than 68,000 flight reservations have been cancelled in the last hours after the plane crash that left at least 179 people dead on Sunday. The Management Support Center of the South Korean airline Jeju Air has announced that the cancelled tickets are split between 33,000 domestic passengers and more than 35,000 internationals. The company also reported on an incident where, after an alleged landing gear failure during takeoff, more than 20 passengers out of a total of 161 refused to board a replacement Boeing 737-800 aircraft. South Korea's Jeju Air suffered a fall of more than 8% of the Seoul Stock Exchange following the world's worst civil aviation accident in 2024, for which families of the victims are seeking the airline's compensation.
The
only way for bereaved families to feel that Jeju Air has done everything it can is to help bereaved families financially. Why? Because a head of a family passed away, parents of a family passed away. There are only kids left, and how can they live on their own? This is something neither the province officials nor the government can help with.
In the Chinese autonomous region of Xinjiang, tunneling was completed on Monday for the Tianshan-Chengli Tunnel, the world's longest expressway tunnel built through challenging mountains. The project is a key phase of the Urumqi-Juli Expressway and opens a new link between the region's southern and northern parts, reducing the driving time across the middle section of the Tianshan Mountains from several hours to about 20 minutes once operational. The construction of the 22.13-kilometer tunnel, which began in April 2020, has faced several challenges such as extreme cold, strong seismic activity, and strict environmental requirements. The expressway is expected to be fully completed and open to traffic in 2025. The German government accused Elon Musk of trying to influence the national election after the tech billionaire called Chancellor Olaf Scholz an incompetent fool and backed the country's far-right Alternative for Germany party.
It is indeed the case that Elon Musk is trying to influence the federal election through his statements. As I said, he is free to express his opinion. One does not have to share this opinion now. I think it's good to point out once again in principle that a voting recommendation is being made here for a party that is being monitored by the Office for the Protection of the Constitution on suspicion of being right-wing extremist. And that has already been recognized as being right-wing extremist in parts.
Belgian authorities announced to ban selling disposable vapes as of January 1st because of health and environmental grounds. Belgium takes the lead by pursuing such measure for the sake of youngsters' health. The policy is part of a national anti-tobacco plan which aims at reaching a tobacco-free generation by 2040. Currently, younger users are prone to use e-cigarettes for their variety of flavors. Nonetheless, experts argued vapes still contain nicotine and describe them as equally addictive as traditional tobacco or cigarettes.
I use it to try and give up smoking a bit because I smoke cigarettes, but I think it's good that they're stopping the sale because there are a lot of young people who don't necessarily think about the consequences when they start.
The Alliance for a Tobacco-Free Society is very pleased with this ban on the sale of puffs, both for the environmental impact that these disposable electronic cigarettes have, because every time they are sold, a huge amount of waste is produced, but also to protect young people, given that puffs are mainly consumed by young people.
We have a second child break coming up, but before we invite you to visit our YouTube channel at teleSUR English, there you'll be able to rewatch our interviews, top stories, special broadcastings and more. Hit the subscribe button and activate the notification bell to stay up to date on the world's most recent events. Find a shower break, don't go away. Welcome back to From the South. The Supreme Court of Justice of Venezuela imposed on Monday a $10 million fine against TikTok due to the platform's negligence in allowing the broadcasting and dissemination of viral challenges that have seriously damaged the country's population. Precisely, the ruling by the court's constitutional chamber stressed the company's negligence in failing to implement the necessary measures to avoid the dissemination of publications with content alluding to viral challenges in violation of the Venezuelan legal system. The court also specified the creation of a TikTok victims fund with the money from the fine aimed at compensating the psychological, emotional and physical damages infringed to the affected users and their families.
Impone a la empresa TikTok.
The ruling imposes on the company TikTok a fine equivalent to $10 million to be paid to the National Telecommunications Commission within 8 days, following the publication of this decision on the Supreme Court's website. Adequate measures to prevent broadcasting posts whose content alludes to the so-called viral challenges.
The Communications Division of the Government of Trinidad and Tobago issued a communique on Monday declaring a state of emergency due to increased criminal activity. In this regard, the official communication states that pursuant to Section 8 of the Constitution of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, Her Excellency Christine Carla Candalu, President of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago and Commander-in-Chief, has, on the advice of Dr. the Honorable Keith Rowley, Prime Minister of the Republic, declared a state of public emergency. The communique further specifies that the circumstances warranting the declaration of the public emergency are based on the advice of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service to the National Security Council of heightened criminal activity which endangers the public safety.
Over the last month or so, and in fact building up to this, the government has been concerned about the use of high-powered illegal firearms, high-caliber firearms, including automatic weapons that unfortunately scourge throughout the whole Caribbean region. And due to the high velocity and high caliber weapons, the 5.56 and the 7.62 caliber weapons, you're seeing that when the miscreants in our society, the criminal element, are utilizing these types of weapons, the AR-15s, the AK-47s, and indiscriminately shooting at persons, sometimes missing their targets and hitting innocent bystanders, there is very little chance of survival due to the velocity and the caliber of these weapons. This has been a major concern, not only for us here in Trinidad and Tobago, but throughout the whole CARICOM region.
The President of Argentina, Javier Milei, renewed for a second time the 2023 general budget to be used for the fiscal year 2025. The government extended one more time what was the last budget approved during Alberto Fernandez's administration. The decision to use a two-year-old budget for the year 2025 is part of Javier Milei's budget cuts, which have already caused the dismissal of more than 36,000 state employees, allegedly seeking to reduce the state deficit to zero. Experts assure that with an outdated budget, which does not reflect the latest inflationary trends, Milei's government will have to promote new adjustments and layoffs in the public administration. In Bolivia, authorities maintain the state of emergency and threat alert as a result of the rainy season in the city of La Paz. Paceño's municipal council approved a territorial law in the face of the emergency preventive regulations supported unanimously by the councilmen to face the disasters that may occur due to rains. Likewise, the entity urged civil protection to take actions for the cleaning and maintenance of drains. In this regard, Municipal Mayor Ivan Arias stressed that economic and logistical resources are being mobilized in order to face the rainy season. Panamanian authorities issued a warning of surveillance grounded in steady rainfalls, which will continue until the end of 2024. The National Civil Protection System, SINAPROC, advanced that the storm will batter several provinces with rainfalls and thunderstorms, and so the entity called for complying with the set preventive measures. The Institute of Meteorology and Hydrology announced that the weather conditions correspond to the intertropical convergence zone and low pressure system, which will produce winds with high humidity. Authorities urge people to keep posted, to avoid crossing rivers or creeks, and to stay away from areas vulnerable to landslides.
Yes,
I think that's an objective. If we know how to take all the necessary decisions, that's a goal we have to set ourselves. So you say that there are lots of people who say it won't be possible. They may be right, but I know this category well. They're the ones who say we should give up. They're the ones who say it's not the same as Notre Dame. And God knows there have been some. And we believe, I believe, and we do believe, that we're here precisely to prove fate wrong. We're here precisely so that people don't stop at what seems possible.
On est là précisément pour que on s'arrête pas.
In Myanmar, ethnic Karen people, also known as Kayin, are celebrating the traditional New Year as the 2024 ends for them on December 30. For the event, members of the community engage in activities such as dancing, singing, and praying for a good harvest in HPAN, the capital of the current state. These activities are part of their public holiday to wait for the Kayin New Year at Myanmar's National Races Village. The public holiday has been celebrated in Myanmar since 2009, allowing the numerous Karen communities to join and celebrate their unique cultural identity. And we have come to the end of this news brief, but you can find these and many other stories on our website at telesurenglish.net and join us on social media. We are on Facebook, X, Instagram, Telegram, and TikTok as well. For Telesur English, I'm Alejandra Garcia. Thank you for watching.
Desde siempre han querido frenarnos, partirnos y pisarnos. Han hecho lo imposible.